Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully I'm coming through. How you doing, Jeremiah? Hey, Jen. Hey, Linda. She was good. Hey, meme. Just waiting for your work day to get done. I feel that. Oh, you are there. I was in and out a lot, Kia, during the actual watching of the video. Like I had it going, but I was trying to work on 5 other things. Good morning, Kia. She was very smart. Hello again, Kia. Hey, yo. What's up, Summer? You found me? Good. I'm glad you found me, cat. Yeah, I forgot to do the thing where it automatically would push you over because I was so friggin' busy this morning. Hey, Shell. Good morning, OC. I don't know how it... Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. It is Friday. Good morning, Aaron. Guys, if you just jumped in here, start doing this. Helps push it out to more people. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate you. A lot of smart candidates running this year all across the country. If only people would listen and give them a chance. Truth. Grass is green. Statement. Okay. Hey, Alyssa. What state you live in? North Carolina. What state you live in? Hey, Paige. Thank you for the roses. You're from Cali? You guys got a fun election coming up. Morning, Tiffany. Yep. The kitty's got on the keyboard. Thank you guys. Thanks for the heartmies. Morning, Candace. Apparently, the mango went on a dangerous rant overnight. They're having emergency hearings this morning in the Senate. Oh, did he? Now I actually got to look. It's Penelope this time. Good morning. Oh my. Morning, Ash. He is truthing a comment made by someone I don't know, saying that the Southern Poverty Law Center paid $70,000 to the leader of the American Schmatzi Party. We must be a religious nation of some kind if God was acknowledged at all. No. God can be a very generalized statement. That doesn't make us a religious nation. I think Jesus supports the rights for us to make whatever choices we want. As someone who's been a Christian for 47 years. Aw, Jay. Man, got some angry peoples in here. Yeah, it looks like almost his entire thing overnight had to do with the Southern Poverty Law Center. Morning, Billy. Good morning, Kelsey. Yeah. No, we were not founded to be a Christian nation. Literally founded otherwise. They certainly never said Jesus. Yep. Any mention of God came in the 50s. Yep. Yep, that all was added in later. That was not in our original pledge, and America did not include God. again, you're talking to someone who is still a Christian, goes to church every single week. Doesn't make our nation a Christian one. Do I think morality and ethics play a big role in American society? I mean, morality is subjective. Arguably, ethics are subjective. A society decides what morality and ethics looks like. I think a lot of people want to believe that morality and ethics play a big role in American society. I'm not sure it really does, though. I actually would find it hard to argue that it really does based on how we as a country have treated other humans. Why do some Christians believe men haven't twisted the message? Because a lot of Christians have been taught that the Bible is the inerrant word of God. And if God is perfect and the Bible is God's word, then it must be perfect in its own right. One of the worst things that started that came into existence was deciding that the Bible was inerrant. So the illogical starts with that. That specific illogical thinking starts with that, Shell. I'm sure there were other ones that I'm not thinking about. Dumb comment. See, I can do it too, Dan. This discussion feels like my university days. Look, believe what you want to believe. Just read that Yahoo had, but he's recovered. I mean, but people's understanding of a religion is always going to be subjective because it's nothing you can ever prove. You have no idea how this nation started? Sure, I do. What do you mean I have no idea? You understand there? Friggin'. Oh, gosh. Hey, Ziggy. Good morning, Bien. Guys, please, America was not born on Christianity. America was born on the destruction of other people. Hey, Tom. The fact you are all finding out the USA is not a Christian is shocking to me. We're not all finding that out. We know it. There are people that have been taught that it is. It's not that they're not finding it out, it's they've been taught otherwise. So, a majority of people in a country believing something doesn't make it a Christian nation. No, we aren't. Even if I am. No, that's not semantics. That's called reality. We are a nation with freedom of and from religion. That automatically makes us not a Christian nation. Got your wisdom teeth removed. Oof, all 4 of them at the same time? That's rough. If this is a Christian nation, explain Mormonism. Again, you are allowed to believe it, just like I believe what I believe about Christianity as a Christian. That doesn't make this a Christian nation. And honestly, it's no wonder people are leaving the church, because if this was if how we treat other people is as a Christian nation, damn, why would anyone want to be a part of the church? Why would anyone want to call themselves a Christian? We treat people horribly as a nation. As a nation, we treat people horribly. Why would anyone want to be a Christian if that's what being a Christian nation looks like? Only reason I left the church, hypocrisy is too much. Yeah. I've already told my pastor that if the current church I'm in didn't exist near me, I wouldn't be going to church right now. It's the only reason I'm still going to church is because I have a pastor and people around me that actually want to live how I feel that Christians should be living. It's weird. That's not really weird. Every religion has people that interpret it differently. It's weird how like iron grip many Christians hold on to their own beliefs, knowing that we as a religion don't agree with each other. Fanatically. There you go. That's what's weird. It's not weird that Christians can't agree. Muslims don't all agree on their interpretation. Jews don't all agree on their interpretation. No, I appreciate you filling in the word because I wasn't thinking of it. If we were founded as a Christian nation, we'd all be forced to go to one church type and wouldn't have different religious beliefs. I mean, arguably, even if we were founded as one, we aren't anymore. But should they not be able to agree? The problem with any religion is you can't prove any of it. So interpretation is completely how every religion works, you know, figures itself out in what it believes. The fighting between Christians is off the charts. Well, Christians have done some really shitty things right now. So it's not surprising. I'm glad Christians that I would consider quote unquote real Christians are finally starting to step up. Like what? Like what makes someone a real Christian or at least a Christian that follows the teachings of Jesus? What did Christians do? What you mean? What are Christians doing? They're endangering the lives of marginalized communities around the world right now. They're calling what's going on in Iran a holy war. How? Laws. They're passing laws that endanger marginalized communities. Actually, they are calling it a holy war. They literally called it a holy war. Dude. Oh. I am against this president. You're the first. Me being the first person you've heard call it that does not mean that other Christians in positions of power have not called it that. I've heard our Secretary of Defense call it that. Like literally the person in charge of our military. No. So what? Doesn't mean it is. You're right. But the person in charge of our military doing things because they believe it's a holy war is not acceptable. Happy that the Persians are not backing down. They have no reason to back down. They didn't start this. There was no way we were going to win it. It was literally lost the second we started it. Haven't heard much on the Greek Orthodox side of it in America. Bye, Anna. I heard about the Strait not opening for 6 months. Fully opening, I think we'll be lucky if it opens in the next 6 months. We are a nation of freedom of or from religion. You can be either. You are young and got no idea what's going. It started 47 years ago. Know your history and it will. Oh yeah? How young am I? How young am I? Joner.
How young do you think I am? Who cares if I'm younger than you? I still know more than you. We started this 47 years ago. Not them. Us. We also had a nuclear agreement that this current president decided to rip up. We have no right to just go in and start taking the lives of other people. Ever. Ever. Ever.
Hey, Ghost. Babyface strikes again. How did we start it 47 years ago? They had a democratic election. This our country, America, decided they did not like the elected president's view on oil, and we went in and basically ousted them and put in our own puppet that loved America and would do whatever we wanted them to do. I, as a Muslim, would love America to be a real Christian country. I would love it if all Americans acted in the way that Christ taught us to act. That I agree with. Because I think the way Christ taught us to treat each other is something that is not necessarily Christian by its nature. That's called humanity and empathy. I just love that people come in and they're angry that I didn't put an S in. Not realizing that I put these things in on purpose just to piss some people off. You mean the "In God We Trust" that we added in the 50s? American Christian nationalists are very dangerous people. I do agree with that. I think people that actually act as Christians should be acting aren't dangerous. Everyone's an atheist by default. It's true. Although I would argue more that they're an agnostic by default. They don't know what they don't know. It's not that they don't believe there is a God. They just don't believe anything. But I think that's semantics. Either way, no one believes in God when they're born. That I agree with. Everyone poops. It kind of stinks. That's true. That's also true. Except going hungry, John. They are doing that. Your methane is an odorless gas. And it's wasting taxpayer dollars. Also true. And here's the reality is no religion can prove it's real, just like no non-religion can prove it's true. Like neither of us can prove it's true. That's why we should just live and not get on everyone, not do, especially Christians, not do the shitty things that we're doing. Justice Department dropping investigation into the Fed. Well, yeah, they kind of had to, Laura. Tom Tillis already said that he would never vote for the new candidate for the Fed until they dropped that investigation. I don't bring up anybody I don't know, David. Do we all have red blood? Possibly. I haven't checked everybody, so I can't guarantee that. Jenny, you think your blood is blue? Blood is blue. Blah, 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 blah. Our blood is blue until it hits O2. But
Thank you, Maeve. Because I was thinking when I went live today, I hope Maeve comes in and makes a dumb comment in my chat. There was nothing that I hoped would happen more. Point is, we all the same? No, I disagree that we're all the same. There are too many people in this country that lack humanity. I don't consider myself the same as someone who lacks humanity.
Hey, Deidre.
Yeah. Wait.
You lack humanity.
I'm talking about people who think inferior to others. I apologize if that's what you meant, Maeve. It's not what came across in your comment. We are absolutely not a Christian nation. Never have been, never will be. Yeah, I hear you now. What I'm saying is the only comment I saw from you did not, maybe you said something else before you said that and it got filtered. And what are and what we are I? That's not a sentence. Muslim like New York. New York's not Muslim. It will not be soon. We are a country with freedom of and from religion. A Muslim being mayor doesn't automatically change that. Christians are the only ones trying to do dumb things like put the 10 Commandments in schools. We are not a Christian nation. Never have been, never will be. Sudden starts breaking and animals mysteriously hurt themselves. Yep, Summer. What, Red? Dude, I think you need to go touch some grass or something. Only your opinion. No, actually it's not. We are not, nor have we ever been a Christian nation. That is not an opinion. That is actual fact. I don't bring up people I don't know. I love when people just walk in and the first thing they do is request up as though they have some right to come up here. The one nation under God was added in the 50s. It was not built on that. No, see, again, facts are facts. Facts are not subjective. Facts are objective. You don't have to like them, but you can't, it wouldn't be a fact if it was only mine. Facts aren't a thing anymore. No, they're a thing. No proof. Yeah, it's called the First Amendment. I go to church every Sunday, Burton. So basically that your opinion. No. That is a fact. 70% of Americans is Christian. That's a fact. Okay. That doesn't make us a Christian nation. 30% of Christians, 30% of people in this country aren't. Yeah, and 72% claim to be Christian. That doesn't actually mean anything. it does not make it a majority Christian nation. And that doesn't change the fact that we aren't a Christian nation. That does not change the fact that none of our laws can be made based on any religion. That doesn't change the fact that we have freedom of and from religion. Grow up. I think all Christian nationalists should get out of America. See, I can say it too. Oh, I'm glad we can agree on religious freedom. We're not leaving. Okay. It doesn't matter what number you give. We are a country with freedom of and from religion. We are a country where no laws can be made based on any religion. It doesn't matter what you think. That's the part you aren't getting. Shouldn't you be getting ready, Crank, to suck your mama's teat? North Coast. Oh, man. Community people can come up if they want. There are more important issues to debate. I don't debate in this channel. I talk about what I want when I want.
I'm so glad I was not drinking anything because I would have just lost my shit just then. I was like, fuck yeah. Nuh-uh. Oh.
We only elect Christian presidents. We only
Burton, come back tomorrow.
have elected Christian presidents up until this point. I would vote for a non-Christian president. At this point in time, I'd probably vote for a non-Christian president over a Christian one just because of how bad Christians have been in this country.
Like, I genuinely don't understand why it matters to anybody what the religious affiliation of your leader is. Like, their
Because they've been taught
beliefs
that's all
should
that
not-
matters.
yeah, but their beliefs shouldn't be influencing the legislation
We
they're
shouldn't
making.
have a president that has 34 is convicted for 34 felonies. There's a lot of things going on right now that shouldn't be.
True stories. Yeah, true stories. I don't know. Apparently,
We
there's
could
an
be
entry fee.
talking the rest of the day about all the things that shouldn't be the case right now. We don't have
It's so
time
true.
for all of that.
It's so true. Well, did you hear they're trying to charge an entry fee for Canada to come into negotiations, trade negotiations with the US?
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
I'm like, I'm like, Canadians are not going to pay an entry fee to join the trade negotiations. I'm like, take your grift elsewhere. Like, come on. We have education here. Most of us know that that is the dumbest thing. You're right. Like, we could go on for the next, I don't know, several years talking about the things that shouldn't be happening.
Roll
But
Tide Girl is back. How long she
uh,
sticks around.
Why is that not familiar to me? We shall see. A couple people have actually gotten blocked today. They're pretty gross.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit though that S not being up there is frying my brain too. It's not just there. It's like it's every time I look at the screen, my brain's like, "There's no S. There's no S," and I'm like, "Go chase a nut somewhere else, you damn squirrel."
Orange, you glad he's still... No, I'm not. No. We said the same thing about you. What?
Maybe when you have a name and a picture and something actual to say, you can stay and enjoy the conversation.
I like to have conversations with people I disagree with. I'm not a bad person. Never actually said you were a bad person, but I would argue based on previous experience that you actually don't like to have conversations. But, you know, I'm willing to be proven wrong. I mean, coming in and just saying that's a big fat lie is not really a good way to start a conversation. So, because that's making an assumption that we are knowingly saying something that is false. No. Every time you said something that showed you didn't want to be part of a conversation is why you got muted, not blocked. If you got blocked, you wouldn't be here at all. You don't have freedom of speech in my channel. I don't know why everyone thinks they do. I'm not the government.
what? There's no freedom of expression here? What?
Why do you think empathy is lacking? I think we have been taught to only care about ourselves. I think we have been taught to only care about ourselves. And what is good and affects us. And if you don't agree with somebody else, you don't have to care what they think or the fact that it affects them. Department of Justice just dropped the investigation. Yeah, I think they realized that Tillis was serious, that he wouldn't let the candidate to run the Fed go through until they dropped the investigation. I don't think it's because they actually care.
What's to stop them from, after they get the person through, redoing another investigation?
Well, it's a different chair of the Fed at that point. And this chair will do more what the president wants. Even though he says he's going to be independent, I don't believe it.
Yeah, no. They do, Emmeline. It's almost like, that's why I was hearing somebody say, like, what happened to the old times when, the black and white TV shows and stuff, and I'm like, well, for a lot of people that wasn't reality ever, but I think part of the issue is you get so worried about me, myself, and I, and we stop caring about everybody else, you know? When you vote, simply you got people who are willing to vote for just an abhorrent human being just because, oh, you're going to get a tax cut? Like, really? That says a lot. It says so much about somebody's character or lack thereof.
So I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna give it one more chance. Roll Tide Girl. I do not debate. We do not debate. If you cannot come in here and be respectful and not think that everything you believe is true no matter what, you don't get to take part here. So you coming in and saying, I tried to debate rather than saying, I want what I want and I want it now, and then wrote childish, you're not going to get to stick around. Do you understand this? Of the three things you have said, first you called somebody in my panel a liar who lives in Canada, and then you called me childish. I don't debate. I have conversations. Conversations don't come in with you just telling me I'm wrong on something. You need to learn how to have a conversation. Are you raising your hand or are you doing something else?
I'm just sitting here waiting. I'm just sitting here.
Sitting here waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And again, do I blame people for not knowing how to have conversations anymore? Not really. We have taught people that there's a reason we are in debate culture right now. The things that are popular, the things that most people watch, I would even argue aren't really debates anymore, but what has become a debate is something different than what it was, and it's definitely not a conversation. One of the biggest things that a conversation requires is people being able to, it's all good, I wish you the best. Okay. Debating is healthy. Disagree to an extent.
Debating is healthy if you're debating with people who are actually open-minded and willing to actually have a conversation. Debating's not healthy when people are so radicalized to believe exactly what they believe that they cannot hear the other person they're with.
Debating the way debating has turned into, no, for 250 years, this country has never been a Christian country. Let's debate that. I think debating the way it is now is not healthy. I think there is a time and place for a debate. I think we all could be more respectful. It's not about I mean, in order to have a real conversation, there are a few things that need to be true. One is we need to agree on fundamentals. And right now, I don't believe we agree on fundamental. Am I versed to conflict? Debate's has nothing to do with conflict. Nothing's changing with a debate. That's the problem with debate. The goal is not to change anyone's mind in a debate anymore. It's to get gotcha moments that can be shown on TV or the internet. That's the only purpose of debate. We agree on more than we disagree. It doesn't matter. We could agree on 90% of the things. If we don't agree on fundamentals, it's out. It's out. And that's the part that people don't get. We could agree literally on economics, on foreign policy, on a million things. But if we cannot agree on my fundamentals, I can't have a conversation with you. What's fundamental? All people, no matter your race, religion, gender, or identity, deserve rights, respect, dignity, and safety. So you wouldn't debate on fundamentals? No, because they're fundamentals. They are non-negotiables. There is no negotiating on a fundamental. That's literally the whole, that's the whole purpose of it.
And that means that you should want for everybody to have those things, even if they don't agree with you on everything. On the other things outside of that, like there's certain things that's just a non-starter.
Culture? Where did I say culture? And why do you think other people are coming in and destroying a culture? What culture are they destroying? And please don't say white people culture. Please don't say that. Please don't say that.
I will be, the embarrassment would be so unreal, and the disgust and I can't even come up with all the adjectives and emotions that I would feel if somebody said that as the reason, or that is the culture, because that is not a culture.
What American culture? What American culture? If everyone focuses on their disagreements, then we never get anywhere. No, the problem is we don't actually focus on the disagreements. We just yell at each other about what we disagree with. And again, if what we disagree with on a fundamental, then that's an end of it. There is nowhere else to go. If we can't agree on what humanity looks like, how can we talk about anything else? How can we have a talk about economic policies when we can't even agree on humanity?
Which is the foundation of all of it. It's the foundation for everything, every policy, every piece of legislation, everything we decide to do in society. The foundation block is humanity. And unfortunately, Roll Tide girl or whatever, you're forgetting the fact that there are a whole chunk of people here who don't believe certain people should exist, or a bunch of people shouldn't have rights, or so on. And you cannot have an honest, genuine conversation with people like that because they don't actually believe that certain people should be allowed to exist in society. And that is a problem. How are you supposed to make any genuine changes in society if you're discussing with those people? Like how?
This country is not as divided as these politicians say we are. Again, I do agree that as a whole, we probably agree on more things than we say than we disagree on, if we actually are willing to have that conversation. But as long as the sticking points are my fundamentals, I can't have a conversation with you.
I'll say as well too, like American, like I think there is some things that are very American culture, like the selfishness, the like constant like reaching for power and snatching for power. It's that Americanacity that I talk about. To me, that's the culture that America has. But if you want to talk about it on a cultural level, America is what it is because there's so many different people and their cultures here.
America's culture, if we're talking about the culture that I think you're talking about, Kenny, is multicultural.
Well, and America's a melting pot. Canada's a multicultural nation. And you can see a very distinct difference, despite what President Trump thinks, that there is a very distinct difference in the cultures between Canada and the US, even though there is also an underlying thread of similarity. So I was intrigued what Gerber Daisy said. I would like to know what the people in the comments believe American culture actually is, because as somebody who is not American, who's born and raised in Canada, lived in America for a few years of my life, but I want to know what do they perceive American culture to be versus what I get it to be.
Kenny, why do you believe there must be an American culture? Like, why? Why do you believe there must be? Why does American culture need to be something specific? I love interacting with different with people that interact with the world in a way that I maybe not have. I think that's what's great about multicultural societies. Why does it have to be a specific culture? And not everyone on the right is extreme. I never said anyone on the right is an extreme, but Roll Tide Girl, if you stand for nothing, that culture, I do not stand for a culture. I stand for humanity. And humanity is multicultural. You're right. I know everyone on the right is not extreme. That being said, you voted for a man who is. You support a man who is. People on the right, too many on the right, unequivocally support a man who is. And through that support, have caused and endangered the lives of millions of people, not just in this country, but now in the world. And unless you are willing to accept that, how can we have a real conversation? You were willing to vote for someone who was known way before he came down that elevator to be a grifter, to be a disgusting human being, to be a cheater and a liar and everything else. And you were still willing to vote for him. Forget just in the general election. People were still willing to vote for him, and now in the e-files. People were still willing to vote for him in the primaries after everything that came about him. So you're saying I have to agree with you to have a conversation? No. I'm saying your willingness to vote for someone who was known, who has now, especially now everything has come out about him, your willingness to vote for him shows that you don't agree with my fundamentals. So how can I have a conversation with you? At least in this space. Maybe in a different space, we could have that conversation. But here, no. I'm sorry. And is that going to hurt me long term? Maybe. But if you're not willing to, if you're not even willing to process the damage that you have done with that vote to people in this country, to human beings in this country and around the world, how can I really have a real conversation with you? It has nothing to do with agreeing. We have had, both Tiffany and Kia can show how, can verify that we have had some massive disagreements on some things.
Oh yeah.
That's sad. I talk to people I disagree with more because I try to understand. And you can try and understand. You can ask questions to understand. That's fine. I will answer questions that you have. But again, you walked in here and said, that's a lie. You didn't
Also,
listen.
oh,
No, that's
sorry.
fine. You can go. Go.
Also, the other thing is what Mike just said. You can't come in and say that's a lie. There was no context, not anything. You didn't come in, you didn't say hello, you didn't say anything. Stop centering the conversation around yourself and stop victimizing yourself and listen. If there's something that you disagree with, then just say you disagree with, but don't just say it's a lie and not say anything else. That's not how you engage in a conversation. But stop trying to center yourself. Like every single time, like it seems like when you keep commenting, it's all about, well, you're saying this and you're saying that. He's not saying anything. You're listening to be offended and to defend yourself. You're not listening to engage in the conversation. You have to listen to engage in the conversation. If you disagree with something that we say, that's fine. Say what it is. Don't just say that's a lie. What's a lie?
If you want
You
to,
have to you also have to remember all we see is what's in the comments. So you have to remember context matters.
you coming in and saying it's a lie means you're assuming that we don't know what we're talking about when we say things. It's so sad that y'all can't even have a discussion with someone you see, you didn't hear a word we said. You did not hear a word we said, Roll Tide Girl.
Which means you don't actually want to have a genuine conversation, and that's what we do in this community. We have genuine conversations. And no, there's been lots of times the panel has disagreed with each other on different topics. It happens not a ton of times, but it has happened. And we are okay with agreeing to disagree on certain topics, but we never agree to disagree on the fundamentals, ever. Never, ever.
Noka, One Nation Under God was added in the 50s. It did not start that way. I can't tell who is on which side. Bruce, sides? I'm on the side of humanity.
It's funny you think that it's a spectrum and not a circle.
This is not a teams, it's not a win-lose. This is humanity.
Penelope may have just muted someone, so if you get things saying, hey, why did I get muted? It may have been an accident, but I can't see who it was. I set my phone down.
I'm willing to unmute them. Their comments were kind of on the line, but we'll let it go if we just remute them if they're still here, if it's really bad. I'm probably the most open-minded person on the right that you would ever meet. That's like saying I know you believe that. And that's that's fine. That is fine. But you believing that about yourself and me believing that in my conversations with you, if you ever decide again, you obviously aren't open-minded if that is your response to this. Do you think my reaction to you should be welcoming you with open arms? Is that how you believe a real conversation works? And you say respectful. Who are you to tell me what my response should be? I'm not telling you what your response should be. I'm telling you how I see your response. Who are you to tell me how I should react to your response?
Like, Roll Tide Girl, I don't understand how you don't see how your behavior is problematic to having an actual, genuine, open conversation. Like, you're unwilling to even recognize what Mike has even said to you and what Kia has said to you. You won't forget even just understanding it, internalizing it, and taking the notes and doing it. You won't even recognize what people have just genuinely said to you. You can't have a temper tantrum and storm off and, well, they just won't have a conversation with me. Well, no, we don't have conversations with people who genuinely cannot behave in some semblance of open-mindedness to the fact that they may have made bad decisions, because we all do. That is a human thing. And genuinely voted for this administration, not realizing how problematic that is, and at least admitting, I might have, something. I made a mistake. This is not okay. All sorts of things. You are literally coming in for a conversation with just rhetoric and garbage, and I'm right and nobody else can be right, and I'm just going to tell them and they're just going to listen. And no, nobody has to. No one has to listen to you. No one has to talk to you. We could literally just ignore every comment you make. That is entirely within Mike's right. It is his live, and you need to respect him.
It's entirely within my right to make it so no one can comment at all.
Yeah. Me and Kia are guests up here, and I appreciate that you allow us to be guests up here.
How did this even start, by the way? The same way all things start. Someone made a dumb comment and decided to just keep responding.
But this is like the thing. Like this is like when we talk about when I tell people to go in other spaces and don't center yourself. That whole conversation was all about I'm the victim, why me, poor me. You're not listening. Like we said,
Patty.
you came what?
Patty gave me a meteor shower.
Nice. Like you can't do that. You can't center yourself in the conversation. And then you come in just with a that's a lie.
Goodbye.
What's a
Just
lie?
goodbye. Goodbye. You still didn't hear anything we said.
Yeah,
It's all
no.
about you. And that's fine. Whatever.
Just don't do that in spaces, y'all. When you go into other spaces and you're trying to if what you're there for is to actively engage in a conversation and to learn, you have to listen. Don't just start popping off in the comments. Don't make it all about yourself. Like just be open. Enjoy if there's something you disagree with, that's fine. You can say that you disagree with it. Talk about what it is, but don't just come in and start talking crazy, and that doesn't matter what no matter what space you're in.
And
Keep that in mind.
And North Coast, you're right. That is what their leaders do. That is the problem that we have as a whole with conversation. Look, real conversations, real hard conversations are uncomfortable. They are painful at times. Can you just say ice cream matters? Ice cream does matter.
Oh, I don't. I'm
a
gonna
lot.
say a terrible thing. People are.
Don't
really like ice cream.
No!
I don't. Sorry. See, we could disagree.
You're
We
fired.
can disagree on this matter. I'm fired because I don't really like ice cream.
Yep.
Oh,
So
my heart is broken.
here's the thing about conversations and the kind of conversations that we need to have. And I feel I am just in saying this because I've done it live on this channel and the people that are in here have seen me go through it live on this channel. Hard conversations sometimes involve you sitting there and working through some seriously uncomfortable things, even if you don't end up agreeing at the end. So it's not, this is why it's important that you come in here. This is why it's important that you come in and you be part of the community before I bring you up. Because we don't have easy conversations all the time. And there have been times where we, in our discussions, have had to lean back on those fundamentals. Because there have been some really, really hard and uncomfortable conversations. Did we come to an agreement at the end? Not always. There have been times where we've had to lean on the fact that we know that our fundamentals are the same. Thank you, Mission. Even though we are upset to some extent, like not like angry, but upset, because these are hard, not simple conversations. And one of the problems that we've had, and things that like the social media and internet have made worse, is this idea that if you don't like what someone says, then I just leave. Which you have every right to do. I'll tell you right now, if you really don't like, if you completely disagree with me, you have every right to just leave. But if your goal is to grow and learn yourself and potentially help everyone in here grow and learn too, then sometimes you're going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes we're going to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to be wrong. That's the part that a lot of people, including all of us probably sometimes, don't want to be wrong. And it makes sense. Who wants to be wrong? The problem is what we've got a society, and our current president is the epitome of it, that thinks that admitting you're wrong is a sign of weakness, right? Because admitting you're wrong is a sign of weakness, the key is to just act like you're right nonstop until everyone just believes it. I mean, we've got Kia that is obviously just brainwashed everybody because she says it so much.
Kia is right.
Problem is, so many get defensive. And being defensive, depending on what you're talking about, is not... Look, especially if it's something that you've grown up believing your entire life, becoming defensive is not in itself a bad thing. Especially if it's a very important conversation, it's going to be emotional. And sometimes emotion feels like defensiveness, but it's also just emotion, right? Like, we're talking about the lives of people when you lash out at Canby. Of course, there are correct ways to deal with being with the feelings, and there's incorrect ways. And most of us have been taught incorrect ways. And that's why I do what I do, or at least try to, is,
I think when it comes to emotions and stuff, though, for a lot of folks, they're not taught how to process them at
Correct.
all, period. And that's what, like, what we were talking about yesterday. Like, the government's not supposed to be our teachers. Parents are our first set of teachers, or whoever the caregiver is. I'll say caregiver because it's not always parents.
Mhm.
Not everybody grows up with their parents, or one parent or two parents or whatever. Whoever the caregiver, there's so many things that we have to teach them. That's why it's like it's important to tell your kids fucking no. It is important to tell your kids no. I'll never forget, I was at work when I was working at Clark's, and Wallabies had become like this whole big thing. And this young lady sat there and cussed and fussed and talked so nasty to her mama, standing right in front of me. And she was like, "Teenagers, what do you do with them?" And I just looked at her and I was like, "Can I speak freely?" And she's like, "Sure." I said, "I have teenagers myself." I said, "I could tell you what, my child sure would not be getting some $150 shoes after talking like that. That was just absolutely disrespectful. And to do it in the store in the public," I'm sitting there thinking to myself, can you imagine? And those people come out into the world, and those become the people we have to vote for. Teach your fucking kids how to be decent human beings, and it doesn't require a book. That's one of the things. My mom is an atheist. We never went to church. My only experiences with church outside of me going now was almost always with my dad when we would go visit him. She didn't need a book to teach us how to be decent, good human fucking beings. We didn't go to a church to learn how to do that. And stop waiting for somebody else to do it and think it's always everybody else. I do think, and I'll say that to say this, it is all of us. It takes all of us. Like, y'all, we have to make sure you're going into spaces and listening, having conversations, uncomfortable conversations. We have to get better with that.
Yep.
Being willing to accept what you don't know as much as what you do know, those two are both equally important. I know I don't know everything. I will, because of this platform, I will talk about things that I have researched, but I know I don't know it all. Which is why when people come in with new information, I want to know where they got it. But if you come in and you just go, "That's a lie," I'm not going to believe you. You come in and you say, "That's interesting that that's the perspective you got, because I have a different perspective, and here's where I got it." You want to know the first thing I'd do? I'd go look it up. Because that's how you learn. For the people, all of that was added. One nation under God was added in the 50s. We didn't start with that. We are not a Christian nation. Thank you.
I love how wrong they're just so confidently wrong. Just so confidently wrong. And that's the thing. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth and this giant brain in between.
We
And I think the other thing is sometimes we have to take time to process and not just, like I said a while ago, don't be listening to get offended or to defend yourself, because if at that point you're not listening, you're just hearing and you're preparing what you want to say in response. You gotta sit and listen. Like when you go into a space, listen to the conversation for a little bit, see what's going on.
we all have been taught to just speak and speak loud and not sit here and listen. I've talked about it with videos. I made a video yesterday and I was like, you know, I have people that I'm working with to try and help grow my platforms because I've kind of stalled. And everything they keep telling me is you have to get them within the first 3 seconds. And I know that's a thing. That is a thing. If you don't hook them within the first 3 seconds, the chances of them watching much more is very low. But my problem is how can I get across the things that we need to talk about in 30 seconds? Because these aren't things that people want to these aren't things that people want to talk about in general. The people that agree with me, sure, they'll keep listening. But the people that might not agree with me, no, they don't care. They'll move on. Doesn't matter what I say in the first 3 seconds. They're hard topics. They aren't exciting topics. And I don't go for gotcha moments. So it's like, I mean, I don't know what that means for me and my content long term, but I also know that without turning to rage baiting, I don't know how I can convince people to be willing to spend the time to sit in the content. I will always watch your I appreciate that. And I know there are so many of you that do, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. And this isn't trying to guilt anyone into watching content they don't want to watch. If this is the other thing I was thinking about today, I'm probably going to make a video about it after. I can't convince you to care. Not really. Oh.
I'm about to cry.
I can't convince you to care about this country, about these topics. I can't convince you. You have to want to care in regards to these topics. You have to. Because these are the wrong kind of emotions in terms of the desire to keep going are created by the stuff that we have to talk about to be able to convince you. I can't convince you to sit in the awkwardness and pain that comes from these kind of conversations, right? That's just a reality of it.
And people also, the part of it is the uncomfortability part of it. You have to be, in order to learn and grow, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Get you a little notebook or a little piece of paper or something and write down when somebody says something or a topic comes up and you feel a certain type of way about it. Write that down. Think about, why did you feel that way? Process it.
For the people, that was added later. You're not reading the room, dude.
They can try again tomorrow or next week.
And for all of you that this may be something you struggle with just in general, the thing that has worked for me a lot, technically, it is not a Christian nation. Christianity did not shape the foundation of this country. Not technically, not literally, not all of it. Were there Christians involved? Sure. There were also deists involved. There were probably atheists involved or agnostics involved. Christianity did not shape the foundation of this country. It did, whether you like. See, again, this is called the inability to listen.
It didn't. Like, it just didn't. And the under God thing was added in June 1954 for Flag Day, and the intention of it was to fight against communism, which usually is not tied to specific religion. So, like, you guys don't even read your own history books. If you read your own history books, you'd know these things. Like, might I suggest, instead of people talking, like, pick up a book, watch a documentary, go and learn something. Like, what Mike and Key have been telling you is just sit here and listen, and so you can learn. The whole purpose here with this whole community is that we share our experiences so we can all learn from each other and grow from each other.
Josiah, what Christian values do you think this country was built off of? Own slaves?
Owning other human beings? Treating
What
certain people like garbage? Like, what exactly do you like?
Force other people to our will, whether they want to or not? Like, what Christian values do you think? Like, those are the values that a lot of that Christians are showing all over the place right now. To go back to what I was saying before, the hardest thing to learn in conversation, something that I had to learn, was when you start feeling uncomfortable, when you start feeling defensive, to stop and think about why you are feeling defensive at that moment. What part of the conversation is making you feel defensive and uncomfortable? And do you, like, is there more to it? Because there almost always is more to it. No, actually, for a lot of Christians, there isn't, because a lot of the Christians that are doing the horrible things believe that the Bible is the inerrant word of God. So they believe that they are following the actual words of God in doing what they're doing. So again, that's part of the problem. Not to mention, we are a country that is freedom of and from religion, and no laws shall be made in this country based on any one religion. And yet, it's happening in states. They are making laws against marginalized communities because of their religious beliefs. They are making laws against marginalized communities because of their religious beliefs. They are trying to put things in schools because of their religious beliefs. They're defending people in one of the worst child trafficking organizations on the planet. And I guarantee most of those people call themselves Christians. Yes, but the group of settlers that came from settlers were Christian. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
I think you mean colonialists who came in, who stole people from one country, brought them here, attempted to unalive all of the people who were already in the country. Like, what part of those two actions, just those two alone, forget all the rest of them, I could keep going, showcase Christian values? Please explain it to me, because I don't get it.
I also want to understand what Christian values that are that are limited to Christianity alone do you believe make up current American society? That you could call this a Christian nation? And also, in a tip in communication, saying you agree with someone and then using the word but right after means you don't actually agree with them. No, I
Like
asked a
engage-
question first. This isn't I have one thing and then you're just going to ask something else. You are saying that this country was built on Christian values. And I'm asking, what Christian values do you think are a part of American society that are associated only with Christianity that could make this a Christian nation? What do you believe? Or again, do you just want to, because you like Christianity, because you are one and you want to believe that our nation is built on something that you like and agree with? Which, if you look at most people, most Christians, that's really what it is. You think that Christianity is the only way. I'm atheist, bro. I just see the reality in the situation. You obviously don't.
You don't, Josiah. Because if you did, you'd realize that there are. Hey, Shug. You'd realize that there are actually three Abrahamic religions that actually are all served by the same God. So it would be absolutely impossible, firstly, to suggest that anything within the. Because they're all intertwined and related. Oh God, this is like I am having flashbacks and nightmares of university right now.
It's even more than that. We don't even need to go in. It doesn't I think that's going in deeper than we even need to go. You're saying you see the reality in the situation. You say you see the reality, but you can't actually argue the argument. I'm asking you a very basic question as to why you think we are based. Someone being a Christian who discovered a country doesn't automatically make that a Christian country. Like that's not how it works. Forget the fact that there were people already on this continent before they had it. Our Constitution says which creator?
There's a reason they didn't specify.
There's a reason
creator.
they did not specify which creator.
Yeah, because for some of us, our creator is our mama and our daddy. That was our creator. Some people don't believe in a higher being, and that's okay. That's
Hence-
an amazing part of this country.
Hence, deists.
Some of us don't believe that some of us believe the creator is energy itself.
It's so weird to me that you are making these arguments and you, according to you, are an atheist. It boggles my mind. I mean, that's fine. You are allowed to argue whatever you want. My problem is you're still not answering my question.
That's because he can't answer your question. He can't actually tell you what Christian values this country was founded on, because it wasn't.
Aw.
Oh, JLR. Oh, does somebody need their mom to give him a bubble bath? Maybe.
And that's the thing about it. Like, for me, that's when you hear people, like, because you see real time, though, when you hear people not even necessarily always comments, but when you hear people saying this stuff in different spaces or on TV or the news or whatever it is, and it's just like, where do you get this shit from?
I, Josiah, I don't want you to say anything. I want you to actually answer my question. You're like trying to, I don't know, you're making assumptions on what I'm trying to do. I'm telling you it wasn't built that way. You're just sitting here and basically saying it was. And every time you bring up other things, we keep responding to your statements and your questions, and you have yet to talk about mine. And I don't know if that's because you don't like the fact that you don't really have an answer, so you're avoiding. I don't know. But I'm about done with this because this isn't a conversation if you're the only one that can say things and I'm the only one that I can't seem to get any responses to any of my questions based on what you're saying. No.
No, I muted you because it's time to go home to your mommy.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
And then they come in and think that they're not gonna get
Oh, it's
It's
hilarious.
like
They think we're
talking to
not gonna get
Bondi.
called out.
if you
Mike
get
is like talking to Bondi.
if
Well,
you get muted and you come in and you start complaining, or or you start complaining about the mods, it's like even if I'm in other spaces and I see people start complaining about the mods, I literally start counting in my head how long before that comment disappears. I'm like, really?
And I'm going to block the other one because I'm not letting them
Yeah, I
come
only
back.
muted the first one.
I just think it's so hilarious because it's the same argument. We're founded on Christian values, we're founded on Christianity, yet they cannot cite one thing that showcases how that statement is actually true. Like
And
I'm
Kyle,
interested.
Kyle on the other side said the same. Even if it was started by Christians, why, based on our Constitution, do you have to even try and make the argument that we are a Christian nation? Regardless of who they were when it started, they created a constitution that made us not a Christian nation.
And if you look at the history books, there's a reason for that because Christians in Europe were not exactly the kindest human beings. So there's a reason for that.
Well, no, I mean, I think the reason for that is they weren't Christians. That's why they ended up creating it. But
I agree with that too. I agree with that assessment too. But I mean, like, if you look at historically when this country was created or even when it was founded, we're talking some of the darkest times in European history. And it doesn't even matter which European country you even look at. It like
and
I
thank
just
you, Jenny.
genuinely don't understand it. And I don't understand how so few people understand that
He's
there are
back
three.
again. This shows how
What?
much this guy gets blocked.
What was the
If
first American
you
document?
don't know, if you don't know how much, if you ever wonder how much a guy gets blocked everywhere, how many times they come back.
I'm gonna say in so many places in their life they get blocked. Because this is a live TikTok. We'll just put it that way. He gets blocked in a lot of areas in his life, and he's just big mad about it. He's got lots of feels about it.
I am a conservative and I watch this live every day, and I have to agree with the panel this time. And I appreciate that, EPP.
Thank you.
I'm not back. We weren't talking about you, Josiah. And I appreciate the fact that you keep coming back. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that you agree on this. So what is the goal here? To have a conversation, which is exactly what we're doing. At least that's what we're doing. I'm not sure what you're doing.
And our conversations lead all sorts of places. Look how many times we've gone all sorts of different directions that we didn't expect. And that's the whole point with having a conversation. It's not necessarily about being right or wrong. It's about trying to share our thoughts and feelings with each other in a, I'm going to say constructive way, and I hate that because I just, my brain is not quite awake yet, so I can't come up with a better adjective, so that we can all grow as human beings.
Again, look, there are a lot real conversations about things that are going on in the world are actually more important now than ever because of the amount of information and misinformation and AI information and everything that's out there. The amount of people that get their answers when we say like Google, let's go with Google. I love Google. We like to say Google is free. But if your response to someone's question is Googling it and just taking that Google summary, I hate to tell you, that's like wrong 75% of the time. Especially because most people ask the question in a very, don't know how to ask questions correctly to an AI. But I was watching a video where where it was a live and they were like, this person came on and made this claim. And they went on to Google and that's what it came out of the summary. And then the guy in it went and the guy running it went and Googled the same thing. And he said, he saw it and it said, yeah, it said that. And then he went and he clicked on where it got the information. And the story actually said the information that he was saying, not that the other person was saying. So we don't know why Google interpreted what it read the way it did, but it did. And this is why research is necessary. And this is why, broad example, no, it's what? Who? I don't remember the name. I was just scrolling through TikTok. I Googled Google and my computer crashed. I hate when that happens.
And that's, but you know what though? You're right, because like I'll hear people in spaces and they'll make a claim or what have you, and it's like you could tell when they use AI versus when they Google and then look up, you know.
It's an example of it happening. You think that are you trying to tell me that my example of it being true when I have experienced it myself as well in other situations means that my example is not legitimate? We should always be careful when we Google. We should always verify all information, even if AI gives it not sufficient. Okay. I don't know what you want me to say. My goal is not to convince you to do more research. And the fact that I'm even sitting here having to convince you to do more research and not just take Google AI's little thing at the
That's a
top
bot.
as a
They had two followers and following 17 people. No.
I'll see y'all in 4 hours or so. I'll be off by then. I'll see you tomorrow. No, I'll see you Monday. Not everyone else. I'm still here. Just them. God is doing everything. Okay. Accepting the summary of Google AI is like only reading a headline and pretending you know. Yeah. Yeah. I believe Jesus. Okay. So do I. Did you tell God I'm out of milk? Ah,
Murray for the sarcasm always.
yep. We gotta have people like Murray in there. Murray, make sure you keep coming back. At work, sorry I'm late. You're good, Siberia. I appreciate you stopping in.
And hey, while we still have some minutes left, make sure if you guys haven't sent those heart me's, there's like over 100 people in here, and I only see 40 heart me's that have been sent. They only cost a penny. Go ahead and send those heart me. Do all the things. Collect your points. Hey, baby, come here. Make sure if you're on the other side on the tube, if make sure you go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you didn't know, we're also currently streaming on the tube as well. Every morning we start there with a premiere of one of Mike's interviews with candidates that are running right now.
He just followed me.
Oh gosh,
Who followed you?
Josiah.
Josiah. Oh.
maybe he'll learn something. It could happen. I'm gonna hold my faith.
No, chances are I'm
What?
gonna get some comment about how I don't really want discussion because I blocked him and blah blah blah.
Make sure you do all the things though. Make sure you collect all your points. Make sure you do all the things.
See you, Candace.
And know, see you later, Candace. And know that you can be over there. There's not as many restraints and restrictions on your conversation on the other side. And we tend not to have as many trolls either.
Yep. And again, I've said this before and I will keep saying it. I have interviewed over 100, probably close to 130 people right now that are running for office, that want real change, that are doing it the way we keep saying we want it done. But they need visibility and name recognition in a way that they need to get it in a way other than the way people are used to, which is money. So please go and watch their content and share their content, whether it's their actual content or this, or the stuff that I'm posting every single day. Why? Why what? Jenny, thank you for sending that heart me. I appreciate you. Why are you?
Was that the question? Why are you?
He's so funny.
I don't.
Too bad. Shut up, Kia. Just.
Well, it's too bad. They could have just stuck with like an actual philosophical question. Why are you? Why are we? Why? And then they had to go and to prove that.
Here's the thing. And again, I know and I understand why some people get angry at it. There was a period where I used to care. Why am I gay? The only reason he's asking that is because he thinks being gay is a problem.
And perhaps he has not considered his own feelings for all of the possible genders and people.
The point is people come, especially I have found men, not always just men, but men tend to do it more. When they come on and they accuse you of something, it means it's because it would be offensive to them. I don't consider it offensive for people to think I'm gay. I'm not. But I don't care. Why do 2,800 more? 2,800. Wow.
2,800 what?
Nah.
Oh.
No, I'm not. I just don't care. I don't care if people think I am. My wife of 20 years knows I'm not. I know I'm not. I don't care. You'd make a great gay guy? I probably would. Thank you. Thank you, Silver. I appreciate that.
I think user needed to go somewhere else. He needed some quiet time to pray.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, have you?
Yeah, maybe you should go pray out on the grass or something.
Yeah, go touch the grass. And Silver, I agree.
I wish I could touch grass, but it's snowing here. Like really, really, really snowing here. Like almost blizzard snowing here. So
I would
I
definitely
would
have
touch
to
grass.
get lip liner for those lips. Yeah. Well, you know, I'd have to make them stick out more.
Well, they'd have to be plump and juicy more.
Hmm.
Be required. And I feel like you could pull off a really good sparkle too, like with some glitter. It would be fabulous. Aw, Gerber, Daisy, I'm so jealous. Like I'm serious. I'm looking out my window right now. Our grass is covered in snow again. There was grass yesterday.
Have I ever done drag? I have not. Not because I'm against it. I just never have.
Well, I would love some snow right now. It's gonna be 90 something degrees today. It was 90 degrees inside my house yesterday with my AC being out. So like I've already cooked dinner and it's sitting in the refrigerator, and did all the things.
Oh, Lauren, she lives in Canada.
Canada, and yeah, I'm happy to send you the snow if it'll make it there. Come on, universal energy, God, whomever, whatever we believe in, Mother Nature, all of them.
I should do a
Combined,
show
send it down.
entirely in drag. You know, maybe someday.
I'll tell you one of the most amazing times I've ever had in my life was going to a drag show. It was absolutely amazing. And guess what, y'all? It was held at a club, like a bar, and the bathrooms were unisex, and nothing happened to
Mhm.
any of the people. Just people using the bathroom. Nothing happened.
Mhm.
Imagine that.
I know my daughter would love to paint me up for that. She would have the most fun ever. She's probably hearing this and smiling at the idea.
She's probably like, Dad, please let me, please, please.
How many tornadoes? I don't know how many. I've seen multiple videos of tornadoes that landed in the Midwest.
The weather this year has been unique, to say the least. It's like that's all I'm gonna say. It's been unique.
I tried mailing some snow to Florida once. The letter carrier wasn't happy. I can imagine.
The weather is crazy, and in North Carolina, I saw in Florida, they're even in, and it's insane that they're surrounded by freaking water on 3 damn sides, and like 93% of Florida is in an extreme severe drought. There's like 70% of North Carolina. Like for us to catch up in rain just for this year, we need 8 to 10 inches of rain. It has been so dry. It's April, and I'm starting to get brown spots out in my grass.
Yep. Well, and yeah, I was very unhappy. I was driving my wife to work actually, and looks like some point overnight or this morning, I don't know which, someone decided to take out a what is it called? The thing with water in it that firemen.
That fire hydrant?
Fire hydrant, like literally took it out. It was just sitting on the side of the road, and the car's bumper was just on the side of the road too, and there was just water coming out of the hole where the fire hydrant was.
I know, like in Raleigh already, they're doing water conservation where you can only water like if there's only 2 days a week. Even number houses can do it on one day. It's like Tuesdays
Yep.
and Thursdays. And I know Fuquay just got added to that list. I have a well, so I don't have to worry about the
Mecklenburg is
conservation
like
part.
it. Is doing
Huh?
it. Mecklenburg's doing it.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like I have a well, so I don't have to worry about that. But the fact that we don't have any water is the fact that that's what I got to worry about.
I mean, in terms of the grass, I'm sitting here watching people water their grass. I'm like, guys, I don't even know why you water your grass. Like, forget the fact that even before drought conditions, I was like, I don't know why anyone really waters their yard around here, because especially in the last few years, unless you are unless you like have like, unless you're spending a lot of money on water, it's going to die. It just, that's what happens literally every single year. Doesn't matter how much work I put into it. But now that we're going through like a water shortage, like a drought, I'm like, guys, just let it die and save water. Save our ability as an area to still be able to drink water. Please. Gaston too, some lady was complaining that the 4th grade water day was canceled. Of course they were, Liz. You know, in Gaston, I wish we didn't have lawns, if I'm being honest. They're really not necessary for most things, especially front lawns.
I think the insects and all the animals that live on our yards and lawns would probably disagree with you, but I understand what you're saying. Like the whole idea and concept of wanting to water, it's so wasteful. I was when I on my way home from bringing Damon, I go like I turn a different way just to kind of miss the school buses and stuff. And the last 3 days, they've been watered. There's so much water in the road where they've got like 6 sprinklers on their yard, and the water's just fucking washing down the road. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I don't have a problem with a yard per se. My issue is more like there's a lot of issues that I have with the way a lot of people, what people use and what is required to keep some of these lawns up. And I'm just like, let there be whatever, trees, forests behind you. Like, we just don't need giant yards that some of these people have where they're spending like gallons upon gallons to be able to take care of it.
That's that Americanacity, brother. Gotta
The
have
white
more. We
picket
gotta have the
fence
most.
stuff. Bye, Tiffany.
Bye,
What's up?
guys. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good.
So,
Take care. Hey, I
You
just came
too.
up to say that Kia is right.
I'm never letting you up again. I'm just kidding.
I
okay,
love
I'm
you,
gonna have
sir.
to. I second that I second that notion. Before I leave, That's what I'm gonna leave on.
I love it. I love you guys. Have a good weekend, Tiffany. I hope everybody has a good weekend. And yeah, if you have the ability, like y'all, hummingbirds are coming out, the bees and the butterflies are coming out. If you can leave some flowers in your yard for a little bit longer or have a patch where that stuff is important. Without the bees, we are gonna perish. We need the bees, y'all. We need the insects, the pollinators. So if you're able to, like right now, there's probably 1,000,000 dandelions in my yard until it all crisps.
Yep.
And yes, I'm always right.
Yeah, and I think having especially native plants around is great. Is very important. I think it's more, especially the front yards. I think that is my issue is front yards, as though like even if I were to hang out in a yard, it wouldn't be my front yard. There is no purpose of my front yard except to waste my time mowing it so my HOA doesn't fine me. That's it.
I park in my front yard because I have the gate in the back door. We used to park in the back of the house and come in through the laundry room, but all of that's enclosed by the gate. And it only took me one time of getting off of work at nighttime and stepping in a pile of dog shit. We stopped going through the back door through the gate.
Hollywood is not the speakerphone of our culture. But anyways, all right, guys, it is noon, so I'm gonna head out. You deciding what people need. Too big yard. Come on, man. You're just too lazy for. Oh my gosh, dude.
Look at me, I'm a man. I'm a man's man. It's a man's world.
Anyways, all right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the gifts. I appreciate you more than you know. Please, 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 I keep saying it, and I'm begging. I'm going to keep begging because it's this important. I solo am doing so much work on these videos. It is not it is the cheapest thing you guys can do to help fix this country. Is watch and like and share and comment, and it really does help. I've talked the thing that these candidates tell me the most is people coming on and watching and caring enough to watch and share means more than you know. These people are not lifelong politicians. They're not making their life easier doing this. The least that we can do is help them in this process. So please watch, share, comment, all that stuff over on the tube. Other than that, I will see you guys. Hello. I will see you guys on Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go out, get some sun. Hello. Go out, get some sun. And yeah, vitamin E is good for you. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys.
Bye.